Hey, are you
Three
guys
people.
from Tennessee?
Huh?
Because we beat another top 10 IC.
Oh,
How about you come me from the back and use my balls as dessert?
Another one.
It's the Catechin, fellas. Kentucky gets another top 10 win, but this time on the road. Kentucky beats Tennessee. The score 78-73. Fellas, how we feeling?
perfect. With Lamont Butler being out, with everything, having lost a couple in a row, like this was, could you ask for anything more than a bounce back win on the road at Tennessee? it was huge. I literally have nothing but good things from this game. So many things to go over, but great win.
Yeah, beating Tennessee is always great, even a little sweeter when they're a 10-point favorite. I mean, it's we had to fight. I mean, it would have been fun to have just run away with it one of the couple times that we had the lead at 8 or 11. Uh, but also it's really nice to see us stick with it, hang in there, and earn a win.
Yeah, people were feeling, especially online, where I guess it tends to skew negative. People were feeling really down about the team and Pope, which is silly because we immediately had the chance to redeem ourselves with this one. So don't believe anything the fake liberal media tells you. This
Liberals,
this
not
team is
necessarily.
good
All right.
and Kentucky's back and Pope's the bomb.
I do think it was neat to see sort of like we said on our preview show and after the Vandy game that stylistically we do match up well with this Tennessee team. Somebody said they have Virginia syndrome at some point when it got down when they were down 11 in that 11 felt at that point it felt like a huge lead and it ended up they made it quite a game, but uh, I think just when we said that too, we also didn't know who all would be out. So I felt confident at relative full strength that we'd match up really well and we could outscore them and they couldn't keep up. But without Carr and without Butler and still missing Kirk Kriisa, I was a little shaky there. What do you do at point guard? Yeah, you can have Jackson play point, and he did pretty well. But then who do you have play four, especially with Carr out? And Ansley played great. I thought Amari played great as even more of a point guard than normal, bringing the ball up the court.
Especially in the second half.
Yeah, just an awesome game all around.
Yeah, I thought the one thing that could have been a bit of a factor is, you have Lamont sit. Now, Carr tried to give it a go in the first half, but when those obviously it was, they wanted to, Pope seemed really hesitant in the pregame about it, that they were going to monitor it heavy. Obviously it wasn't going to work out, but when you get guys in there, like I think Colin Chandler is the biggest example of this today. Now he didn't
Yeah.
score, but he made a big impact. I think knowing you're going to play, knowing rather than is Lamont going to try, is he not, is he on, is he off, and you come in for 3 spot minutes, you might turn Colin Chandler specifically, and he turns the ball over last time he got in. Today, I felt like he was able to kind of weather that initial nerves. He was still a little nervous, it seemed like in the beginning, but once he was like, "Oh, it's basketball," it seemed like he really could, at least defensively, make an impact on the game. I thought that knowing they were going to get the minutes really assisted, some guys that don't typically get the minutes.
I liked his approach tonight because he hasn't really been too strong at scoring the ball all season. Like it seems like he's been struggling to find an identity on the team, but it seems that the game plan was, we're going to stick you on Lanier and you're just going to bug the hell out of him all night long. And boy, did he do it. And he did a great job. And you could tell he was frustrating Chaz the entire game.
Oh yeah,
And I hate to be the one to point it out to you. The White Claw. He's the White Claw.
The White
Man.
Claw.
Shut him down on B. He's Kawhi.
I never disagreed with that. It was more because I don't know. It was more that you said
Ridiculous.
Jackson was. So
He hit 2 long twos tonight. He's Kawhi.
I don't think either of you get to ever talk about a long two and a positive note after this the amount of shit that I get talking about long twos. Okay, no, but for real though, he was a pest. He played really well. And for everyone that talk about him transferring now, that dude is with Coach Pope, and he's really excited to be here. And that kid's gonna work really hard. And I'm super happy that he made a really big impact in the game. He defensively was awesome.
I
But he
like
really
it because he's like, just because you're not scoring doesn't mean you can't have a positive impact on the game. So he controlled what he could control, which is just effort and defense and hustle, and he did a great job at that. The points will come. Might not be this
He,
season,
he
but
played
you'll figure it out.
he played 15 minutes. He had great defensive play after great defensive play. Lanier was 3 for 10 from three on the night. And I know at least once Colin got a hand on it. But frustrating Lanier, I think, is a good way to put it. He was a pest. And that was great. I don't think that we've really seen that side of him all season long, and so it's really cool to see him have a game when we definitely needed him. Even if he didn't give us a ton offensively, he also didn't force anything. He took one pretty wide open three, and people complain, but it's like you want him to take that shot. He's open.
I thought it was going down. I would have loved it.
Yeah,
I would've
it,
dropped.
it looked good. It was just short.
I mean,
You
you
know,
remember the
some
blue and
people
white game?
might say that they don't want him shooting that. Pope would never discourage anyone on the
Right.
team from shooting that.
Right,
No.
right.
As basketball.
BG also not a huge game offensively. 2 points. The only time he scored was that one real quick pass and dunk
Mhm.
from Ansley, which was awesome.
That was a great
We
play.
needed that when it happened. I'm actually surprised that's the only time he scored. Played 16 minutes, didn't turn the ball over at all, which is great. That's huge, especially given that that's something we've been struggling with lately. And Tennessee is great at forcing turnovers too. So good contribution from him. Also, Trent Noah played pretty well. 9 minutes, but 5 points, perfect from the field. Another game where he just hustled and hustled and hustled.
Oh, they shot 72 shots. I didn't realize that. My God. Compared to our 50, and they shot 45 threes. Is that correct?
Yeah.
45. That's
They shot
insane.
21 more threes than us.
Hey, and they made how many? One less? Yeah.
Made 11. Yeah.
All right. I'll take it.
Yeah, that's exactly probably how we wanted this to play out. Was when they weren't hitting those shots in the beginning and we were, it was just kind of like, well, they're not going to be able to match our offensive output. And that's just kind of how the game went.
Yeah.
It was weird because outside of, I guess, the last 4 minutes of each half, the game was never really all that much in doubt. We were steadily ahead the entire
Right.
time, and then we kind of fall apart at the end of the first half, then immediately take the lead back at the start of the second, and then it started to get away from us again at the end of the second half.
What a way to improve, though, 3 days later, right? Having a 6-point lead, and then what did Vanderbilt end the game on? Like an 9-0 run or something like that to win the game by
so.
whatever they. Yeah, I mean,
Something, yeah.
but much different result today. I mean, you could have the same exact thing. It just I think without, and to do it without Lamont, man, that's huge. And Carr, really, that's your vocal leader and your literal point guard. That's a big deal. That's a gut check, a big gut check.
Kobe 3
saw-
for 3 from the 3-point line.
Yeah.
3 for 3 from 3.
Ansley played really, really well. 4 for
Right.
7. I mean, everybody played pretty well, I thought.
Hey, Trent Noah
which-
with that 3, I bet there was seismic activity in Harlan tonight. I swear to God. Like that, after he hit that one, bro, he should look on the map. But I bet you, it was a hell of a shot too.
And to be honest, against a team like Tennessee, we needed people to play pretty well, especially missing a couple of our big pieces. I saw Evan Mia said his injury adjustment was 3.5 points in Tennessee's favor on top of whatever he already had them favored by, which is probably significant against the number one defense on the road. And we still found a way to do it, which is awesome.
I liked how anytime Tennessee would hit a big shot, we would just come right back and hit a big shot, and we really kept the crowd out of it for the most part. It never felt like a crazy environment, and it can get really loud in there. The even the end with hearing the "Go Big Blue" chants.
Oh man,
in Thompson Bowling's, it's always
did
pretty sweet.
you guys also think that because Pope got he got criticized a little bit for sometimes his lack of usage of timeouts or different things? I felt like today he was pretty instrumental in keeping that crowd out of it. Like I felt like it was a little more, maybe not letting Lamont try, because like with Lamont, I feel like he kind of thinks like, or he kind of is like, it's Lamont Butler. He's a grad transfer senior, been in the Final Four. He'll figure it out. You know what I mean? But I think it was more of a, I get to coach this one out a little bit, and with a little more hands-on, perhaps. And not that he's ever not that, but I felt like it like you said, it never felt like it got crazy, even though they did make a couple runs. We were up, double digits a couple times, or it felt like we could have pulled away a couple times and didn't, and they got right back into it, but we didn't falter. And it was really good to see. Felt like we had a lot of resolve, and they showed a lot of heart playing. Guys that don't get minutes, man. Is that Collins' highest on the year minute wise? It's got to be, right.
Oh,
15
Has
minutes.
to be.
it has to be.
In what I would say is our second, or probably our second best win of the year. I don't know where you guys would put it, but 1A 1B with Duke. But I mean,
I
genuinely,
think this is
that's
our best win. I'd say top
I
10
think
team on the
Duke's-
road.
Yeah,
on the
Duke might
road
be the best team in
is
the country,
big.
though. Is my whole thing, and it was in neutral. But yeah, fair enough. I'll give it. I still think Duke. I have Duke 1, Tennessee 2, and I have like our top 7 wins. But either way, you're not wrong. To have it is a massive, massive win. You can almost tell though that Rick Barnes knew when they were down 8, he felt like they were down 20. He knows they can't score. If Chaz doesn't line it up, he knows they're kind of cooked.
And that's really it. I mean, I think that Ziegler hasn't really been a great shooter ever. Let me see. People were sort of shitting on Ziegler, and I think that's ridiculous. I think he's pretty talented in a lot of ways. I don't think that score first is really his mentality.
He shot 11
Looks like
threes and made one of them. So
yeah, it looks like he's a career 32% 3-point shooter, 28% on the season.
about
But
9% today.
Brandon Ramsey at KSR did a good game plan scout write up, and what he said is let Zakai shoot. This go under on ball screens when Ziegler's got the ball, beg him to shoot because you don't want it to be Lanier, you don't want it to be Milicic. Let Zakai try to beat you from behind the arc. And it seemed like we did that. I mean, especially a couple times Jackson was, really sagging off, just begging him to do it. And then he hit a couple.
God,
then we tightened it up a little bit, or hit one.
I felt
guess.
bad for Ziegler because he kept getting switched onto, or just I guess point guard on point guard guarding Jackson 1-on-1. It's just like, oh, not fair because Jackson's just so much bigger than him.
what do they shoot as a team typically, Ben? Do you know? Because damn, let them all shoot 11 for 45. Let it rain. Like let it ride from the three.
Let's see.
I mean, that's horrific.
On the season, they're average, just under average, 33.4%.
Okay,
But
so
they have the best 3-point defense in the country, only allowing 26.5.
It's a fluke stat.
So
I've been saying.
Okay.
It's a luck stat. It is.
Ish though. There is something to defending the 3-point line though. I'm telling you.
right. Well, I think really the way that it manifests too is who do you let shoot? I mean, I think that's one reason that our 3-point defense has been high this season. I think, our defense hasn't been great in general, but I do think we have done pretty well in terms of picking the guy that we're going to bait into taking shots. Unfortunately, we have games like the Vanderbilt game where that guy that you want to take the shots just feels like he doesn't miss.
Yeah.
And then what? But
they
seemed to
did
work
keep,
tonight.
They did keep leaving Ansley wide open at the line. There was one where it was a half court set and Ansley's just standing in the corner and he's got at least 10 feet of space and they pass the ball to him and he just stands there for a while. And there's no one on this team that I would take shooting a wide open 3 over Ansley.
In the corner, Ansley is one of the best 3-point shooters in the entire country. He might be the best corner 3 shooter in the country. Honest to God. He's so good from the corner. He's cash.
I'm surprised when it misses.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm already counting those 3 points in my head before the ball.
I think we can.
Well, that's a dangerous game, my friend. Count most threes before they happen. You start getting mad. Okay.
I'm a dangerous kind of guy.
I
That's me, man. I'm wearing a jean jacket. And you want to talk to me about being dangerous?
I want to talk to you about a lot of things. I'm going to hang it up from the ceiling, take pictures of it like it's from the rafters. Just let people see it for themselves.
I don't know what we're talking about right now, but we'll keep it moving along.
the jean jacket wasn't the greatest. But I'm kidding. I love it so much. I'm just jealous of it, bud. Don't get sad.
Fellas, we got Arkansas coming up. I'm just joking. We got anything else we want to close up on with Tennessee? Great win. Big win on the road. And once again, going along with this season trend of, yeah, we drop one to a team we should have beat. But if you look at it, would you rather have this game or the Vandy game? We would all take this one. So
That was exactly what I was gonna say. There's if you have to pick one, it's the ones you want this win over. I know people get really upset and then their feelings about losing to Vanderbilt. I'm so sorry. They are in the top 25 for if it helps you feel any better. Like they did get there, and they did pay us a cool $500,000, an Ansley Almanor, if you will, for rushing the court. So
I'll take
Thank
Duke
you.
over Clemson. I'll take Gonzaga over Ohio State. I'll take Florida over Georgia. Like, we can play this game.
Louisville
right.
and Mississippi State, and this win over the next loss. I mean, there's
Yeah.
Right. I'll shout out Amari, 10 and 15 with 4 assists.
Happy birthday
And
to that big dog.
Yeah, on his birthday. Played well. I thought he really got after it. I know people have been critical of him not giving effort on rebounds, and I felt like he didn't get them as often as we would have liked, but he got 15 of them. He hustled for them. And he shot above his average from the free throw line.
Let's go, Ansley. I feel like Ansley's one of those guys where he'll have 4 good plays where he's doing something just regular, like, hey, he got up and he got the rebound. And then he'll have one where it's like, wish he could have that one back, but everyone just remembers those.
Yeah,
Ansley or
that's
Amari?
Oh, that's what I meant. I meant Amari.
Oh, Amari.
Sorry.
I was just clarifying. Sorry, I wasn't trying to be a dick. We talked about both of them. Sorry. My bad. Anyways.
How you guys feeling about Arkansas?
I don't know. Go ahead, Ben.
I feel pretty good. I think that we're better than Arkansas. I think we should win that game. I think it'll be emotional. It'll be interesting. I'm really curious to see Cal's demeanor in that game. Not from really a gameplay perspective, but just from a how does he feel about this whole thing perspective. Especially if there's any truth to the idea that he didn't really want to leave and then tried to come back. And I mean, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how the crowd responds to him.
Would you boo Cal?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'll eventually give him his flowers when he comes back. Just like with Rick, I mean, it's raw still. I mean, it's if you have a breakup, it doesn't matter which side you're on. You kind of, I mean, you can move on into a better thing and be totally happy in that, and you still have like a little bit of a raw spot there. So I think that's where we are.
All right. Thanks, Ben.
Yep.
Yeah, I would boo the shit out of him just after Ben's speech there. I think it's the worst team in the SEC coming into Rupp. So I think basketball wise, it'll be fine. But yeah, it'll be the rest of it. It'll be like the theatrics before, and all that. I think it'll be interesting to see, but I don't think it'll be a close game by any means.
I kind of feel bad for him, so I don't know if I'd boo him. I don't know. Might be in a big old softy right now because it's like if you make it the breakup analogy, which is fair, it's like if we had the breakup and it ended really poorly, and then I found the one, So it's just like, hey, I hope he has a good life.
I'll say I've never booed an ex-girlfriend, so
I have.
But
I'll boo him right now. Let's go.
No, and people say, why would you boo him? He did so well when he was here, and it's like, yeah, and I appreciate that, and that's why I eventually will welcome him back. But for now, at a conference rival, and it's not like he hasn't made some digs at us. It's I'd boo him.
He's made some what at us?
Made some digs.
Digs. Okay. What digs did he make?
I mean, he said some things about the way he does things, his philosophy, kind of like directly compared them to other coaches, and it's like, oh, kind of like ours.
He also made a lot of comments about being supported now by his athletic department and stuff like that. Was definitely taking shots at the school and the office and stuff like that.
He won 9 games at Kentucky one year and didn't get fired. So, like, I honestly think it's probably even Stevens at that point. So, just seeing how this season, the reactions as my first season really here, right? What's the team now? 15 and some, with a handful of the best, probably the best wins in the country outside of Auburn. And,
I'll say this. I wanted him fired after the 9-win year. I was out on him after that. And my dad, who was out on Cal early, I think he wanted him fired after the De'Aaron Fox Malik Monk year. So
wow,
early on that. So
that just seems like haterade right there.
Look at that. My parents are actually, my birthday is in 2 weeks, so my parents could have come down for my birthday, but they could have chose to come on my birthday or come for the Kentucky Arkansas game, and they're coming for the Kentucky Arkansas game because that's the bigger deal. Do we have any MVP predictions or the point spread? Do we think this is the John L. Davis breakout game that we've been waiting all season for? Does Adu Thero get his revenge?
No, and no. I think it's Cass will be favored by 12 to win by 25. I don't know. It'll be interesting after for the first 5 minutes. I'm not sure it will be after that. I think Arkansas is terrible. I don't think they're a very good team at all. Like, this is what you could have had if you think about it in some ways. So thank God you don't.
Yeah, sort of on that note, I think it's interesting that they've made so much of the Cal comment. I spoke to the team. There is no team. When in the end, he ended up with 3 guys who were already playing for him, 3 guys who were already committed to him, plus a guy who was already at Arkansas, versus Pope, who had 1 guy committed to him, 1 guy here, and 1 guy he brought. I don't know. I think it's a bummer that Boogie Fland is out. I mean,
Definitely.
obviously, good for us, helps us, but he was fun to watch. I think Thero could have a pretty good game. Just he's so athletic. He's looked much improved this year. So happy for him to see that. Hope we can contain him. But I think today was encouraging. At some point there was a Ziegler to Akpara lob right behind Amari. Amari came out to play help defense and just laying wide open for that. And I said, he's going to do that 3 more times tonight. It's going to kill us. And he didn't do it at all again. So I think we've improved some. I mean, I think we played decent defense today. Hopefully that can continue. I'm sure Z will hit a couple. Maybe Janelle will play fine. I don't know. I think we win comfortably. Maybe not 25, but 10-ish.
I think Adu is the guy who worries me because I don't know if we have a guy who matches up with his size and athleticism. So there's not a clean matchup there. So they'll have to come up with something. And this is one where it's like, Amari, this is your game. If you're going up against Big Z, you got Adu and Thiero. Like, now is your time, because I don't think Big Z is prepared to deal with Amari Williams. That is a man versus a boy.
Yeah. But another question, it's kind of off topic. How did we get Thero's name wrong? Because Cal coached his dad, and surely Cal told us how to say his name or said it in press conferences or something. How did we go years saying it incorrectly? I mean, this is, I don't know.
Is it
just
could they change the
just crazy.
pronunciation just to be?
I don't know. But it was so fun. Like the first Arkansas game, I was hate watching. They were like so deliberate. They were like Thero, and it's like whoa, Thiero, and then they eventually said something about it, and it's like, but Cal knows that family. I don't know. Sorry.
No, I agree. I'm still not sure I'm saying it right.
It's an important question.
I'm just gonna say Adu.
People are asking.
He's a great player, though. Do you think that Cal has scouted for Kobe Brea, or is it going to be a big Kobe Brea game and Cal's going to be like, listen, in the game I watched, he went 2 of 6. I don't know what you want from me.
Oh, it's crazy how accurate that's going to be.
And for
Yeah.
that, Kobe Brea is my pick for player of the game.
I'm going to say like Perry is going to go off for like 4 or 5 threes, just absolute cash because he's going to get left open. I'm telling you.
He's going to be
Yeah.
screaming, "Do you love me now, Dad?" at Calipari.
Good God. Yep.
Dude, Trent Noah might have some of that built up too.
Yeah, he didn't even get a look.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. Can I combine their stats to say MVP between the two of the Kentucky kids? That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, sure.
Let's
All
do
right,
it.
perfect.
Sure.
Because they're gonna get extended time. Because again, I think it's the worst team in the SEC coming to town. So
Part of me is slightly worried that the Andrew Carr and Lamont Butler injuries could hurt us this game. For some reason, I was thinking that even before this one, Braden and I were on a phone call yesterday, and we were chatting about this game with the 2 injuries. I was thinking, with so much going against us, that almost makes me more confident in the game because
you did say
teams
that.
with these injuries, they almost seem to win when it's so much going against them, and it's just the why is bigger than the what
Yeah.
in the game, and there's the inverse effect on this one where it's like, I don't know, like with Big Z and DJ Wagner and Adu, like that's a pretty big why. They might be really motivated, or they could press too hard and Calipari could have them too wound up and
Have
they
you
end up
watched
losing.
them play basketball this season? Just I know you
I
know them from
have.
last season. This season, though,
I
I
have.
don't
They're
think
not
I've
very good.
seen them. No. And it's not even like fluky. It's like legit. They pulled out all the stops to win that home game the other night against Georgia, and they really went crazy about that SEC win. The
And
media too. Why? They were like,
that game was
"Yeah,
hideous.
Cal,
The,
let's
the the the
go."
whole second half was hideous.
This
Just
also,
ugly basketball.
it's terrible luck for Arkansas too, because they're not very good, but this is the game that every Kentucky fan has had circled on their calendar since before the season started, and it's got to be one of the harder tickets in recent memory at Rupp Arena, and the crowd's going to be so loud and into this game for a team that's not very good, and everything's kind of going against Arkansas other than Kentucky's injuries.
Yeah,
I'll take Ansley as my player of the game. I think
that's a good
that
one.
Cal will actually have scouted and know that Kobe Brea is the shooter and will sell out hard to stop the one good shooter on the team, Kobe Brea, and Ansley's just going to be like tonight, standing in the corner, wide open, with a ton of minutes because of Carr being out, assuming Carr is still gimpy, but just lighting it up. Gimpy out.
Oh.
Injured.
So, do you think when Jackson played A&M, he was very motivated playing against one of his ex schools? Jackson also went to Arkansas, so maybe a big game. I know it's not Musselman.
It's more
on
of
the
a
sideline.
Musselman. Yeah, I was gonna say that's
Yeah.
more of a must. But if they somehow find their way, if USC finds their way into the tournament, like Jackson for 65, he might go for 82. He might Kobe it. He might go one up on Muss. But against Arkansas, he probably put up numbers though.
We didn't spend nearly enough time talking about Jackson tonight. Jackson was awesome, dude.
Jackson's
so
always
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Jackson's always awesome.
So
Listen,
good.
and I remember, do you guys remember with that day, like when it was like, okay, we're getting Jackson and Chaz is going to Tennessee, and it was like, okay, that's what we want. I promise you. Jackson's that dude. I love Jackson. I'm so glad he's on this team. And he played awesome. Steady Eddie. What a guy could come and play point guard when you have your top 2 guys out. And they go and like, what are we talking about here? Your 2 point guards are out and you go beat the number 8 team on the road. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious? What do you want right now? What is this? It's crazy to me that people, I saw people that like, I felt like I respect. And they're talking about Pope being on the hot seat. Get out of here. What do you want? What is even, I don't know what happened to you guys before this season, but it wasn't good. And I just hope that you get over it soon. Not you two in particular, just everybody. This is a crazy good team. And it's 4th win over the AP top 10 this season. It's crazy.
No big deal. It's weird how quickly the switch flipped. of everyone being hyped over the Duke game to after the Vandy game of being like, I don't know if this is going to work.
Wait, you mean halftime of the Gonzaga game from the Duke game?
Yeah.
It's like we're not. They'll get it eventually. You know what I mean? It'll happen eventually. But
Chicken
what a
Little
win.
syndrome with the fan base.
But like, what else do you want? Like, I don't know. Never mind. I don't want to get into it. But I'm just happy that it's a good win. Big, like, couldn't set up this week better. It's gonna be a much more enjoyable lead up to the Arkansas game than it would have been. I feel like it might have been a little tense, a little antsy, and I don't want to even know some of the stuff that would have been said had they lost this game. People would have been actually considering they might lose to Arkansas. It's not happening. Just not.
Oh yeah, this is not a fun show if Kentucky loses tonight and we lose 3 in a row. But instead, we beat a top 10 team on the road. So,
one thing I think is notable is this is going to be our 7th tonight. In Tennessee is our 7th quad 1 win. A bunch of those are quad 1A. That's almost half of our wins, 7 out of 15. And all of our losses. I mean, I know people feel really bad about losing to Vandy because people don't respect Vandy. And people feel bad about losing to Ohio State because they think Ohio State sucks. And people feel bad about losing to Clemson. All of our losses are quad 1 losses too. So, I mean, a loss always does suck. But I'd rather those be quad 1 than anything else.
I think people take the Vandy loss hard because it says Vanderbilt on their jerseys.
That's literally
if
it.
the jersey said Texas A&M, people probably aren't feeling as bad about that. But it's just the fact that it's Vanderbilt. That's a good team.
I can't wait for the takes that this Tennessee win isn't great because Tennessee sucks because Vandy beat Tennessee. It's going to happen. I guarantee you we're going to see that this week. People are going to downplay this because how good could Tennessee be? Vanderbilt beat them.
When Ziegler got hurt, I went, oh no. Now we're going to say like, oh, we were able to beat them because Ziegler got hurt. And then I remember like, we don't have Lamont Butler or Andrew Carr.
Yeah, Ziegler going out was like the best thing for Tennessee. He was 1 for 11 from 3, folks. Like he shot 9%, give or take. You know,
Tennessee flipped it on after that too. That's when they really started hustling.
Yeah,
and they made their little comeback there, provide him some motivation. Fellas, do we have any closing thoughts before we wrap this up? Next time we get together after the Arkansas game and Royal Rumble Day, big day Saturday.
Yeah, New Mexico and Utah State play Saturday too. That's a big one. Royal Rumble, I don't care so much about, but the rest of that I am very much into.
You think CM Punk wins it this year, guys?
In the slightest.
John Cena's in it. It's his last Rumble.
I doubt we'll see him there.
Oh no, John Cena will. He's already announced for the Royal Rumble.
Oh right, you can't see him.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining the Catechin. For Braden, for Ben, I'm Jared. Go Cats.
Go Cats.
Go Cats.